Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Chef Johnnyshwa. We have a Thai-inspired stir fry for you tonight. We're working on Thai cuisine at school, and I've just been just so inspired by this cuisine. For a very poor country, a lot of the food coming from street food, or at least having its origins there. Really an amazing cuisine. The flavors, the combinations, and the ingredients are just something else. Looking at Thai cuisine, a balance between spicy, balance between sour and sweet, salty, all come into play, and it has this incredible harmony. So I have so many ingredients, so many things to talk about tonight. Well, first thing we're going to be doing is I'm going to be making just some regular pasta. I have some linguine. At school we're using rice noodles, but this is a wheat noodle. Hate to tell the Italians, noodles are indigenous to China. So wheat noodles are going to go very, very well with this, okay, and absorb our sauce. We're using a thinner sauce today, so we're going to need a pasta to really absorb that sauce so it's not too watery. I have an assortment of ingredients here. Let me go around the horn. First up, I have some shallots, some red onions, and some garlic chopped up, about small dice, nothing really too small. And I have some Thai chilies in there. The shallots, very classic in Thai cuisine, been a big influence from the French while they were down there. Some red onion I just had in the refrigerator I want to use up. Garlic, we chopped it up a little bit big, not too small. We're going to let it fry really good. And then we have just a couple Thai chilies. My family does not like it spicy, so I made some curry the other night, some shrimp curry with green beans. And we served that over rice, and it was way too spicy for everybody. I loved it. I was in heaven, but I can't say the same for everybody else. Next up, we have some scallion. I have the scallion cut in two areas. I have the longer scallion in here, and I have these in kind of, very long pieces. Then we have the cooking scallion that we're going to be cooking with our shallots and our garlic and our chilies. We're going to be adding in the bottom scallion into there. The whole scallion could be used. Nothing should go to waste except for that little furry hairy part. Next up, some vegetables we're going to be using. We have the bamboo shoot, and these are Thai bamboo shoots. These were fresh. They were in the local market, Lottie Mart, and I bought them. They're super tender, and they're not out of a can. And amazing. I'm sure they're probably frozen on the way over here, but just really amazing. Next up, I have a bowl here, and you can't see inside the bowl, but I have some powder, okay? See this powder, okay? And then we have some tofu. The powder we're going to be using is dried shrimp. So I have the dried shrimp, chopped up pretty fine, and then we have the tofu. Those are going to be going in there. We, of course, have some chopped peanuts, and then we have some Thai basil, and finally our sauce that we made. Pretty incredible sauce. Not too tart on this sauce, so we have about maybe 1 ounce of tamarind, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of ketchup, probably about a quarter cup of soy sauce, and we have some of water also in with there to dissolve the tamarind, some boiling water. We also have some fish sauce, probably about a quarter cup also. So we got the tamarind in and added the hot water and melted that down, then added all the other ingredients on top of that. So our sauce today is a little bit thinner. It's got some great flavor, and we're going to be picking up lots of flavor from the dried shrimp, from the fish sauce, to the bamboo, and then finally our Thai basil. And we're going to be shredding our Thai basil and adding that very towards the end. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get my pan going. Right, you'll see that on. I'm going to bring you over so you can see a better view of the stir fry as it's going down. Okay, we have you lined up right here. Okay, so we have our wok going. I have some oil in the wok. Okay, I have some oil in the wok. That's going to go. I'm going to be adding just a little more oil. As you can see over here, we have some chicken on the George Foreman grill. We bought a George Foreman grill recently, and this is not for an advertisement or anything like that. It's another tool in the kitchen I've used for years. Works really well, easy for the kids, very low risk of fire. We did have a little bit of a fire here. And it's something that the kids could use, make burgers on, hot dogs, chicken, not worried about a fire starting. But what's also great is you have this trough down bottom that pulls out any juices or fats, and we can go there. So it works pretty well. I like it. All right, so I don't want my oil to get too hot. Again, I have the green onion, I have the garlic, the shallots, and we're going to be starting our saute with those. So I'm going to bring these right over to my cutting board, and I'm going to slide those in. All right, get a good amount of shallot and garlic and onion and a little bit of Thai chili. Not too spicy, okay? And we're going to get that working, okay? Get that working in the pan, get that pan moving, right? But at this point, I know you're used to seeing woks, and everybody's moving the wok and constantly moving. You don't want to do that too much right now. One, you're going to release a lot of heat. We don't have the BTUs in kitchens, in homes, as we do in commercial kitchens. Commercial kitchens really have a higher BTU. The pans are getting a lot higher, and you can afford to kind of move that pan around a little bit. In this case, I need my pan to stay hot. I am going to, sweat and cook down my vegetables, and I don't want them to burn. I have them on high, but we don't want to move the pan too much. Okay, I'm just going to keep them moving. Okay, the pasta we're going to be using. Believe it or not, I cooked the pasta just a little bit past al dente, and then we shock the pasta. So it's called blanching and shocking the pasta. And that we cook the pasta, we put it under cold running water, and we let that pasta get cold. I then had a bowl, just a little bit of oil. We put the pasta in there, a little bit of salt, and a little bit of peppercorn. The peppercorns that we're going to be using today are the Szechuan peppercorn. These are very floral Szechuan. I think maybe these are the reds. And we're going to use them very lightly. We're not going to get that mouth-numbing, sensation too much. We're going to keep things kind of low, kind of mellow, and we want to be friendly for everybody in the house. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and mix these around. We want to sweat these down. I'm not really looking for any caramelization, right? We talked about in previous videos what the sweating technique is really all about, right? When you're sweating vegetables, you're developing the natural sugars, you're bringing out the flavors in them. But the last thing we want to do is to caramelize any of those vegetables. Instead of adding sweetness, we'd be adding some bitterness. Now, in some areas, that may be okay. I like a little bit of caramelized garlic in my tomato sauce, and that's a different story, right? But in something like this, we don't want to add too much caramelization, or any caramelization for that matter. So we're sweating our vegetables. I'm going to move them ever so often. And then how do we know when our vegetables are done sweating? If we're not going to brown them, how far do we cook them down? So I could put this really low and let this go for a long time. Okay? Well, what's going to happen is vegetables are going to start becoming very vibrant in color, a very vibrant green. Leeks will become very vibrant. Carrots and peppers very vibrant. Things like onions are going to start to turn clear. A red onion will go from cloudy to clear, as we say, and that's kind of the marker that it's going to be done. All right, so my George Foreman grill is looking great over here. I'm going to turn these off for right now. I have 3 more chicken breasts done over there, so we have about 5 chicken breasts kind of floating. Do I want to slice those and put them on top? Do I want to leave them on the side? I'm not sure. We'll see how dinner comes together, okay? All right, so we're moving these around, all right? And not going to let any caramelization happen, right? See, we're looking really beautiful here. We have all our vegetables sweating, they're really nice. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and add the bamboo. In with the bamboo, I do have a couple of tomatoes. Those were also in the refrigerator. And, when we're cooking, I tend to, kind of clean out the refrigerator. And as long as things are going to work with the concept that we're doing, we want to go ahead and use them, okay? So, I'm going to cook the bamboo in this. My vegetables weren't fully sweated, but I knew I had to add in a little bit of tomato and a little bit of the bamboo. I left the bamboo a little bit large. It was very tender, so there's no reason to, I could have julienne or batonette the bamboo, but we left this a little bit whole. Okay. So, getting nice and hot here. So I'm going to keep our pan moving at this point, right? Not letting any caramelization happen. All right, looking really, really good here. Now, at this point, we could be adding some bean sprouts and different items. I could have started with grilled chicken as the base, and seared my chicken ahead of time, pulled the chicken out, and then used that fond. Remember that fond on the bottom of the pan? That's where all that flavor is. I could have used that fond to cook the oil and then onions and garlic and cooking on top of that and then adding the chicken in back later. I just so happen to be using the George Foreman grill. I thought it would work pretty well. All right, so next up, we want to get our sauce ready. And we have most of our tamarind has been dissolved. Again, we took our tamarind and some hot water, about a half cup of hot water, and 1 ounce of tamarind, about a quarter cup of fish sauce, about 2 tablespoons of ketchup, quarter cup of soy sauce, and then I even added in a little bit of oyster at the very, very end, and just tasting this, very pleasurable, nice and sweet, a little tart, and the secret ingredient, the sweetness. You cannot forget to talk about the palm sugar. The palm sugar comes from a palm, and it comes in this kind of rock form, and we grated this. This is a very big part of Thai cuisine, and we grated 2 of these on our cheese grater, very small, and added it in here. So we have a really nice sweetness. I'm going to go ahead right now. I'm going to add in my sauce. Let that move around. Let that come to a nice boil. Okay. Next up, I'm going to have my pasta ready to go. So we have the pasta. The pasta has been cooled, has been chilled. I got some more water on in the back for Ben tonight. He does not like this kind of food. So we're going to make him something extra special. A little extra pasta and some chicken, maybe a little bit of scampi for him. He's at baseball practice right now, so we're going to make sure we take care of him also. Okay, so we have this coming to a boil. And I want to let it to come to a hard boil before I go ahead and add my pasta. Now, 2 more ingredients, well really 3 more ingredients. We have what we call the chive lengths. And a lot of times garlic chives are being used. I have just regular chives. I couldn't really find those in the store. And then we have some peanuts. The peanuts, I have some chopped up very fine, and then some a little more coarse grind. So we have a variation in textures. Okay, last but not least, right, we can't forget about our Thai basil. And I'm going to go ahead and just pick a couple of leaves and have these ready to go. Okay, all right, great. So my sauce is coming to a boil. All right, look how nice that is. Right, coming to a nice boil. Okay, letting that come up. And I'm going to go ahead and add my pasta. Okay, I have 1 pound of pasta that I'm going to be adding in today. And I'm not going to stir it right away. Putting that pasta in really lowered the overall temperature of the bottom of the pan. And I don't want to stir that right away. I want to let that get nice and hot, let the bottom of the sauce really start absorbing into the pasta itself, and then we'll go ahead and flip it. I'm going to get some presentation platters out. Right, and take you back now, and you can see what's going on. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add in my tofu and my shrimp. This is the ground shrimp, the ground dry shrimp. Okay, I'm going to put those in there, and we're looking really great. Right? Do a nice double-handed flip. Make sure we get that in there. All right, and that flipped in really nice for us, actually. All right, very good. So we're just going to go ahead and pick some of the basil. This kind of Thai basil, you really don't want to use the stems. We did in our Thai curry in school, but we took them right out. In a pasta like this, I don't want anybody biting into a big piece of Thai basil. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pick it all off. I don't really have to chop this up or cut it too small. Okay, and I think maybe just a little bit more. Got my slop sink I'm throwing into, not the floor. Okay, and we have that there. Okay, and I'm just going to run my knife through. Thinking about doing some knife skills. Okay, because it's an art. It's something that we really need to learn, and we're expecting people to cook in the kitchens and all these cooking shows, but how many are really teaching basic skills? Not a whole lot. Okay, all right, great. So we have our tofu, we have our shrimp. Right, this is all coming to a nice boil. Okay, I have my tongs over here, right? And give this a nice mix all the way through. my Thai-inspired pasta with grilled chicken. Oh boy, tofu is looking great. This sauce looking great. Okay, let this come to a nice hard boil. I'm going to take out a piece. We're going to taste it. See how it's coming out. Okay. Oh boy. Oh man. I'm going to go ahead and throw in my Thai basil. Looking great. All right, so we're going to pull our chicken out. Let everybody know pretty soon that dinner is served. Look at that, cooked on the George Foreman grill. Perfect, perfect. Let it rest for at least 10-15 minutes. The chicken is still warm, and this is going to be set right on top of our pasta. All right, we're just about ready to eat. Jack, you want to text everybody? We're ready to eat? All right, very good. That's going to go on there. We have our pasta, right? Nice and hot. And there we have it. We have grilled chicken, Thai-inspired pasta, finished with a little bit of tofu, dried shrimp, and Thai basil. And that's our show for tonight. So from our family to yours, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Hopefully you get to share some of this love with your family. Thank you so much and have a great night, everyone. Take care now.